the next presentation for the afternoon, Hacking a Bird in the Sky, Hijacking VSAT Connections. Allow me first to introduce both our speakers for this afternoon. First of all, let me start with Mr. Jim Jovedi, the gentleman in black. It is not an auction. However, maybe later. Jim is an information security consultant at Veloa Asia Pacific, where his work in penetration testing allows him to focus on attack as well as defense. He has performed extensive research on network and host mapping, intrusion detection and prevention systems, wireless hotspot security and operating system hardening. Jim was an active contributor in the development of FreeBSD and OpenBSD operating systems. He loves exploring computer systems in unusual ways. Jim has been an invited speaker on several conferences worldwide, such as Veloa Cybersecurity Asia, Cisco Security Summit, IT Underground, and of course, Hack in the Box, as well as university and government symposiums. He has been quoted in numerous national publications, including Jakarta Post, Kompas, Wall Street Journal, New Straits Times, and Detik iNet. Encik Raditya Iriandi, the gentleman in beige, has been a technology junkie since he was a teenager. He loves dealing with telecommunication systems such as satellite, Wi-Fi, and modern phreaking. Recently, he joined Veloa Asia Pacific as an information security consultant. And prior to joining Veloa, he was technical director at C2 Pro Consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming both our gentlemen this afternoon.
Give us applause. Thank you for showing up. People on the back, please join us in the front. Few seats left. Okay, thanks for the introduction, Amy. My name is Jim Jovedi, Raditya Iriandi. We work for HITBSecConf2006. First of all, classic disclaimer. Okay, this presentation is intended to demonstrate the inherent security design and configuration flow in publicly accessible satellite communication networks and promote the use of several satellite communication systems. Viewers, readers are responsible for their own action and strongly encouraged to behave themselves. Don't be a jerk. Okay, first I'm going to start with the definition of satellite. Satellite is basically any object that revolves around the planet in a circular or elliptical path. All the masses are the part of the solar system, including the Earth, are satellites either of the Sun or satellite of those objects such as the Moon. The Moon is the Earth natural satellites. There are also many man-made, we call it artificial satellites, and usually closer to the Earth. It was English science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke who first conceived a possibility the artificial communication using satellite in 1945. Then we have the first artificial satellite launched by Soviet Union on 4 October 1957, which called Sputnik 1. Satellite is nothing new. They've been orbiting for nearly half a century since Soviet launched their first satellite. And as you can see, the picture on the bottom is a Sputnik 1. Sputnik is a good example just how simple satellite can be. It carries like only thermometer, battery, radio transmitter, and nitrogen gas for pressurize the interior of the satellite. Then we have another typical of artificial satellite, which not massively produced. Most of them are custom built for to perform their intended function. Exception is the GPS and Iridium. For like GPS, that is at least like 20 copies, and the Iridium satellites which offer than 60 copies in the orbit. First, we have astronomical satellites to be used for observation of distant planets, galaxies, and the other outer space objects. We have reconnaissance satellites intended for non-military use, like for environment monitoring, meteorology, map making, etc. We have also navigation satellites, you know, GPS, decided, killer satellites, anti-satellite weapons designed to destroy enemy satellites, the other orbital weapons and targets. Some of them has planned to implant like laser technology to attack another satellite or maybe another target in the Earth. Then the solar power satellite, space station, weather satellite, and bio satellite. How satellites is launched into the orbit? Well, all satellites today get into the orbit by riding a rocket or riding a cargo bay of the space shuttle. Several countries and business have rocket launch capabilities, and satellites as large as several tons make it safely into orbit to ascend regular basis. For most satellite launch, the scheduled launch rocket is aimed straight up at first. This gets the rocket through the thickest part to the atmosphere most quickly, and the best minimized for fuel consumption. And after the rocket launched straight up, the rocket control mechanism uses the inertial guidance system to calculate necessary adjustment to the rocket's nozzle to tilt the rocket, and of course described in the flight plan. In most cases, the flight plan calls the rocket headed to east because the Earth rotates to the east. And once the rocket reaches the thin air, it's about like 120 miles. The rocket's navigation system will fire small rockets just enough to turn the vehicle into horizontal position. Then satellites is released. At that point, rockets are fired again to ensure some separation between the launch vehicle and the satellite itself. The use of satellite we cover in this talk is satellite for internet service. Not so long ago, satellites were really exotic, top secret device. They were used primarily in military capacity for activities such as navigation, espionage. Nowadays, they are essential part in our daily life. We see and recognize their use in the weather report, television transmission, or like everyday phone call. In many other instances, satellites play a background role that escape our notice. Like some newspaper and magazine are more timely because they transmit their text and image to multiple printing sites via satellite to speed up distribution, or maybe before sending signal down to the wire to our house. Cable television really depends on the satellite to distribute its transmission. Many other things, GPS, emergency radio beacons to from downed aircraft and distressed ship for search and rescue, even it's a situation like natural disaster. And we have like internet also, for example, like SCPC and DVB-IP. There are three types of satellite internet service. One is one-way multicast. It's used for IP multicast-based data, audio, and video distribution. There's a one-way with the terrestrial return and two-way satellite access. Example of one-way multicast setup can give is some of illegal ISP and cyber cafe somewhere out of Jakarta, Indonesia, because the internet connectivity there is quite expensive. You're not talking about $2,000 for how many? How about the fattest link you get in Europe, Fabrice? For broadband home, 20 megabit? 24 megabit. How much you paid for that?
That's 30 euros.
Okay. How much we pay for internet connection for 2 megabit? $6,000 US per month. Okay. So it's not fair, I know. some people are making money on it. And as a workaround, some people, well, to be admitted, including us, try to find a workaround to get the free internet access using satellite. And it's mainly to reduce operational costs. And we use downlink-only internet and use the other already established connection through ISP as an uplink. And actually, Indonesian government already have like radio frequency spectrum and class 1 satellite orbit monitoring commission under Ministry Communication and Information that regularly monitor the usage of signaling frequency. But since the area of work is quite large, we're talking about 5 big islands in Indonesia and other thousands of small islands. So sometimes they miss their so many targets, not to mention the bureaucracy and the possibility of corruption. Of course. One copy, isn't it? Then this is VSAT, very small aperture terminal. By definition, is a two-way satellite ground station with a dish antenna that is smaller than 3 meters. Most of our VSAT system now based in IP, and many VSATs now being used for interactive and transactional application. Because you're talking about point of sales application, flight ticket, hotel reservation. You're talking about some banks. We found that using VSAT for their ATM transaction as well. This is the network diagram commonly used for satellite connectivity. There's a head office, there's a branch A, branch B. Some of them using frame relay, then continue with the satellite dish using satellite shared connection to every branch. And now we are talking about the satellite anatomy. We're talking about the bird. This is the bird, the attack target. It's also known as a transponder. It has altitude control for spinning the satellite to keep it stable, and then it's also the body part. Is the bus of the satellite holds all the equipment and other necessary components. As there is a communication part that satellite needs have some means of communication with the Earth. Like it needs to receive instruction and transmit information it collects, or it may relay information sent to another site on the Earth. And we have a grapple fixture launched for launching and retrieving satellite. We have internal computer, or some people call it TTNC, which is like telemetry, tracking and control device. It's for automated communication process and to find out where the satellite is in the space. Then also the control for internal control of its system. Then it has also power source to this kind of device need electricity, and some possible power source can be used through solar panels, batteries, or even nuclear powers or heat generator. Then we have control center. Many people work there and they're controlling the satellites every day. This is another tracking, telemetry and command station. Now we're talking about the topologies of VSAT, very small aperture terminal. It has just like ordinary local area network. We know like star topology, or in wireless we have like mesh topology, and the combination of both. This is quite similar with the wireless network that we already know. And usually the operator of satellite have